welcome back to the Pretty Girls Club, where the uglies are still allowed. Hi. As you can tell from the title, today's episode is going to be all about the ongoing court case that my brother has, the trial, all about it, everything that you guys have been asking me, all the nonsense, fake news that have been said about it that I guess I'm just here to share my opinion about and essentially give you, I guess, some facts about what's going on and also my thoughts, my perspective, because it's my podcast, right? So, yes, let's get into this episode. And just like a quick disclaimer, because obviously this is going to be like a heavy episode, a quick disclaimer before we start is that, like I said in episode 1, this podcast is truly just a compilation of my thoughts, my perspective. And it's essentially going to be like, yeah, just how this entire case has been playing out, because it's just been a very long drawn process. And a lot of people have come up to me, of course, to ask questions about it, to ask me what's going on. And a lot of people think that the ongoing case is the same thing that happened like in 2019. They think it's the same case, and they just think the same case has been dragged out until right now. So I think it is important to, I guess, put it out there, that like what's actually going on, my perspective, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Also, I am obviously not your news source. I should not be your news source. Please go read the news. I mean, of course, mainstream media in Singapore is some level of whack lah. But I feel like if you are tuning into this podcast to get 100% factual information and all news from a completely unbiased source, then that's your problem already. Yeah. That's your problem. That's your fault already. But yeah, of course, this podcast is going to be filled with my opinions, my thoughts on everything, like I mentioned. So it's just, yeah, this should not be your sole news source. If you want to go find all the information about the case, there's a lot of articles already out there, interviews that people have done with my brother that's been out there, stuff that we already talked about this like for a couple of years already. So, go read all those stuff before like just taking everything that I say here as gospel. So at the end of the day, I should not be your sole news source. Go do your own research, come to your own conclusions. And also, as much as like at the end of the day, I know y'all see me as Singapore's top everything, pretty pleased, but I'm also a human being, and I am talking about my brother's case. It is not just Pretty Please's opinion on a random case. I am also the younger sister of my brother who is involved in this case. So, of course, there is a personal like involvement in this, and I feel very strongly about it for sure because that's my brother. So yeah, and I do, as much as I want to make this a safe space for everybody who is listening to the podcast, it also needs to be a safe space for myself and my family. So I think at the end of the day, if people are going to leave like really problematic, unsolicited comments that are just not constructive, just mean, just out here to attack me or my family, I obviously will be blocking your dumb ass. so yeah, I have no qualms with like deleting your comments, blocking, because I'm not about their life lah. No thank you lah, okay? But
bombastic side eye.
that's how I'll be reacting.
Criminal offensive side eye.
So literally, if you guys leave the kind of problematic ass comments, that will be my reaction, and I will be deleting it. Okay. So yeah, I mean, of course, I don't need the comment section to just be we love you, Preeti, we love you and your brother. You don't need to do anything at all. Sometimes don't need to say anything also can. So yeah. Anyways, let's get into it. So I think a big thing about this case, I think a lot of like people don't know like what is even going on, like how did this even happen, and essentially I kind of want to give a little bit of background as to what this entire case is about. So in 2019, of course, I'm sure you guys know we did the brown face video, and it was a response to brown face. So Dennis Chew did brown face. They all did brown face. We responded to brown face. So that video, of course, got us in trouble, and we received a 2-year conditional warning from doing that video. So we have mentioned this before, but like a 2-year conditional warning is essentially, they gave us 24 months, a warning that lasted 24 months, which meant that if we committed any crime or we did anything that was illegal within those 24 months, we could be charged in court for the rap video. So if we do something completely unrelated to social media or videos or anything at all, as long as it was deemed as something that was illegal, we will get in trouble again for this rap video. So in those 2 years, I've made many like videos about it, about the conditional warning. I've made jokes about things that I can't say or do in 2 years, all that. And I guess it's like I pretty much got out of this conditional warning scot-free. So the conditional warning came and left, and in 2 years, I was painfully careful of everything I said, and that warning took a massive toll and was a massive thing weighing on me with every content piece that I created in 2 years lah. So it was a lot. And naturally, of course, the same exact warning applied for my brother. So within those 2 years, he pretty much got in trouble for a bunch of tweets and posts that he made on social media, which were seen as violations of the warning. So those tweets and social media posts, everything, it was three main violations, lah, basically. So now that this is an ongoing case, ongoing trial and everything, there are 4 charges against my brother. So one being brownface, because he committed he had 3 violations throughout the conditional warning period. So those 3 things are charges, and then they're bringing brownface back. So now it's a total of 4 different charges lah. So the brownface thing, I guess I don't have to get into it. I'll talk about it. You guys know what went down, and I think the whole thing is stupid to begin with. And so does most of the internet lah. We all think that's ridiculous. But anyways, just a little throwback for us. Fuck it up, sis. Fuck it up. Okay, truly. Anyways, so yeah, now I just want to get into the 3 violations or the 3 things that my brother said or did on the internet that were seen as violations that has resulted to this entire ongoing case in 2023. So the first thing was actually, ironically enough, it is Pride Month right now. And a couple of years back, I'm sure you guys remember this very viral video of 2 members of a church just sitting there and making very, very problematic comments against the LGBTQ plus community in Singapore in general. And also, they also said things like they likened the LGBT community members to Satanism and really insane claims. And they even made comments about how the pride flag has 6 colors, and you know what that means? 6, the mark of the beast. So yeah, anyways, Preeti has 6 letters, okay? But yeah, anyways,
child. Anyway, so
yeah, that happened a couple of years ago, Pride Month, and that video, of course, hurt a lot of people, hurt a massive community in Singapore that has been constantly treated like shit in our country. So naturally, that video caused a lot of uproar. A lot of people were like, "Are you kidding me?" And one of the church members in the video, her name is Joanna Tang, and I mean, I personally think Joanna Tang is a piece of shit lah. So, I mean, she said whatever she said, got away with it, posted some half-ass, dumbass apology, but obviously still has that same sentiments and still carries that problematic sentiments in her life and everything that she chooses to do. And yeah, and yet another privileged ass person that gets away scot-free after making very, very problematic comments and harming a whole community of people in Singapore. So of course I feel very strongly against it and that entire video and everything, all the sentiments shared there lah. So when that video came out, my brother made a tweet, and the tweet, you guys can find the content of the tweet online. I don't want to talk about it and bring up the exact words, because if that was seen as a violation, I don't know if repeating it is going to be seen as a violation, So a couple of months later, something, I don't know the timeline of it, but all this happened within the 2 years of the conditional warning. So we're talking about 2019 all the way to 2021. So another thing that was seen as a violation was another big case that happened in Singapore, which was the Orchard Towers murder case. So that was another case that caused a lot of uproar, as it should, because it was a freaking murder case. And there were quite a lot of people involved in this incident, and of course it resulted to a loss of life lah. So it's a very highly sensitive topic to even talk about. It's a case that really was just insane to even read about, and the outcome of to me, the outcome of this case and everything that came out of it was just ridiculous. One of the main things that really pissed me off was the fact that one of the members of the friend group that was involved in the Orchard Tower murder, she ended up becoming an influencer lah. She literally got famous because people thought she was very pretty, and she went to jail, and people thought oh my gosh, she's so attractive, and then she's suddenly working with Ryan from NOC. What the hell? That's truly that was truly repulsive. As that was coming out in the news, the amount of people who were so offended by that and pissed off. And mind you, we're talking about someone who lost their life, not just natural causes. It was a freaking murder. So the fact that the nature of this was just so highly sensitive and just insane all around, and all these frivolous things came out of it, just made it so uncomfortable for a lot of us. And it just felt like nobody really understood the severity of this case, and nobody was taking it seriously, even though a man lost his life. And another big thing that happened was another person who was involved in the case, and I think he went to court, obviously was on trial, went to court, and when he left the courtroom, a whole bunch of media outlets came up to him for an interview, like, just putting the microphones in his face, trying to ask him for comment or whatever. And a stupid ass reporter actually asked him, I heard you're having a baby soon. Is it a boy or girl? Oh my God, I want to choke. Like, why would you ask a question like that? If anything, right? Like, oh my God, our freaking taxpayer money pay for the freaking mainstream media to still exist, even though it shouldn't. And then, like, how the hell do you pay for your journalism degree to come out here and stand outside a courtroom and ask someone involved in a murder case, you having baby soon, right? Like, oh my God, nobody gives a shit about your baby except like you. But why is that even a question? Why is that something like, why are you trying to humanize this person when this person was involved in a murder case? No matter what their involvement was, they were involved in something that resulted in a loss of life, resulted in someone who was not supposed to freaking be dead just lose their life like that. And whether or not this person was the one that was like holding a weapon, whether this person was just a bystander, whether or not this person was involved to whatever degree, that was still a ridiculous question to go up to this person and ask, no matter what, just because of the nature of this entire case. And it just felt like nobody was taking this seriously. Media outlets clearly didn't care. And the comments online also were just like that was okay. That was a piece of content that mainstream media outlet put out on the internet, and we were all supposed to see that and be okay, as if we cared about this person's like unborn child, and this person gets to celebrate and enjoy life and create life while they were involved in someone's loss of life. So the irony of that was just ridiculous, and of course that pissed off a lot of people. And my brother commented on that, and he commented about how, like, when we did the brown face video, we received pretty much a smear campaign in the media lah. So the way we were treated, the way we were spoken to, the way we were hounded, the way we were fully harassed by the media was ridiculous. But then this fella just comes out of court and it's like, you having baby soon? Like, how come when I go to court, nobody asks me if I'm pregnant? I could be, Anyways, so yeah, it was just very like, that was another violation. The fact that my brother commented on that and what he said about it. So that was an Instagram post that he made. So that was violation number 2. And the final violation of the conditional warning was when my brother had his album launch at the substation. He did an album launch. He had a show. So it was a 2-night show. People bought tickets, came down to see his album launch. He performed it live and everything. And during his album launch, because the entire album was essentially songs about his life, everything that just his life story, his perspective, everything, not about the case at all. Like, it was just about his life in general. So naturally, he would like acknowledge the case and talk about the ongoing things that are happening. So one part of his album launch included him putting up a screenshot of his comments of this Orchard Tower murder case thing and that guy that was asked about his unborn child. So he just put up a screenshot of it. But then eventually he was told that he cannot put up a screenshot of it because that's part of an ongoing thing. So he included a graphic, like an illustration of it instead. And of course, when you do any like live show or performance in Singapore, you need to get permissions from IMDA, approvals and things like that. So essentially, he was told by event organizers and stuff that there seems to be no issue with doing that instead as an alternative, using illustrations. So that's what he did. And suddenly that became a violation as well. That became oh no, we told you you're not allowed to use this. Whether it's a screenshot, whether it's a illustration, whatever, you are not allowed to use this at all. So it became like a he said, she said miscommunication thing. And suddenly that was a violation in this case, in this massive ongoing case as well. So those were the 3 violations. And of course, like I mentioned earlier, because it was within the span of that conditional warning, brownface is now brought up again, and it's the 4th charge. So those are the main 4 charges, the 4 charges of my brother's case. Sorry for the lighting change. I just came back from a Pilates class and I'm continuing this episode. But anyways, it's very weird to see the entire brownface incident still be a thing and a charge in my brother's case, because obviously I was a part of that entire video and everything. So it's just weird to witness it, and it is so weird to like be a part of everything, to like be in the courtroom, to witness everything happening. And I'm also like my brother's bailer. So for like this entire case, I literally am like legally on paper his bailer, and that was also just a very like just stressful process. I mean, no one tells you like what it means to be a bailer. I should do a everything you need to know if you want to be a bailer video. No, I'm kidding. But like it was very nerve-wracking and just stressful being in a courtroom and like getting all this information told to you and having to sign on all these documents and witnessing the whole process. it was just overwhelming all around lah. And being in the courtroom while the entire trial went on was also very like truly infuriating because the prosecution was just really, it felt like they were grasping at straws, and like certain things that they said in the courtroom was just like my mind just blown the whole time, and then I'm just like, can man, like that's how I felt the whole time. But then obviously can lah, because it would happen, right? But then it was things like there was one time, there was one day on trial where they literally brought up my t-shirt. They brought up my outfit choice in the courtroom. They literally asked my brother about like, are you aware that your sister wore a t-shirt that said this, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, my brother literally like, what has he got to do with my fashion sense, yeah? And he literally was like, no, I have nothing to do with my sister's fashion sense, my sister's fashion choices, you know? And I'm like, yeah, correct. And the fact that that was even discussed and there was an actual exchange in the courtroom was just so like, truly, I was just sitting there and rolling my eyes lah, honestly. But yeah, anyways, I don't know, I feel like all those violations are just like, to me, the like insanely dumb, especially like the first one, the Joanna thing being homophobic thing. Like her father will go and Eagle Wings Loft, Eagle Wings Yacht, everything then will sponsor all the rich influencers to do free LASIK surgery but then somehow his daughter still cannot see. Like his daughter still want to be dumb. And then the daughter will go around and say this kind of homophobic ass shit and then just sorry and then get away with it, and then everything's fine lah, because no one's gonna actually protect the LGBTQ plus community in Singapore like that. What? There are no laws to protect them at all. So it's so annoying that people just get away with these things scot free, and there are no actual like consequences to verbal abuse like that, and just having very problematic thought processes put out there on the internet like that have actual like consequences lah. They should have consequences lah, you know, like it shouldn't just be a sorry and then like nobody talks about it anymore, but people, this is something that still affects a whole bunch of other people instead, you know. And also the Orchard Towers thing is like literally the fact that like the guy was asked about having a whole ass child and are you having babies, boy or girl, and the fact that now that whole ass child is probably born, and that I just hope that one day that child grows up to know that their dad was involved in the freaking Orchard Tower murder lah. And that just is baffling to me that there was even something that they asked. And honestly, I can't believe people go to school to get a journalism degree to ask these kind of stupid questions. And yeah, that whole last violation about like the illustration being used and stuff like that, to me that's just like semantics and stupid all around. So this is just all my personal opinion. I think everything is dumb. I don't know if you can see Maxi here in her flower cone. But yeah, Maxi clearly agrees that everything is dumb. That's what she's asking me to tell y'all. She said everything is stupid. I said, I know, Maxi, but people think you're stupid too. Anyways, yeah, so I guess that's how I feel about everything. And of course, a lot of something that people have asked me like over the last 1-2 years, like throughout everything, has also been how like my family is doing in general. Like how's my mom, because my family is literally just me, my mom, my brother and Maxi. So, and of course like friends, close friends, loved ones. So everybody has always asked like, oh, how's your mom taking this, you know, will your mom be okay, you know, with everything that possible outcome of this. And then I'm just like, how else, I don't know, how else do you think we're taking it, you know what I mean? Like I guess everything that you guys are, how offended people out there are feeling about this, we feel the same way. Like to us, it's just, it feels ridiculous. If I cannot believe that this is something that we're still talking about. I cannot believe that it's freaking 2023 and our response to brownface is still a thing in the news. And every time that comes back on the news, you know, it takes a toll on everyone emotionally. It has a direct impact on everybody's livelihoods as well. And it's just so like, and people also don't know how to read the news. They just see like a headline and they'll be like, oh, the brownface thing is back in the news again. And I'm like, maybe you want to read the news. But yeah, people are dumb lah. So it's just frustrating and exhausting, honestly. But yeah, I think we're taking it pretty well. And my mom is really strong. Like, so is my brother and myself. I think we all will. But we're doing pretty well. We're doing okay. And I think there's also a lot of support online that we really need to acknowledge. And there's so many people that really have just backed us up since day one and completely understands our intentions behind the work we do and the things we say. So I think knowing that there's all that support out there, like it's really like not fair to also just focus on like the few negative comments or like the really toxic things that people put out there on the internet. So the trial was open to the public and the verdict's coming out on the 23rd of June. So that's really, really soon. So yeah, if you guys want to like come on down, show your support, you know, whether it's online, virtual, whatever, like everything is greatly appreciated. And yeah, I mean, I think I can safely speak on behalf of my brother and say thank you for all the support out there. And yeah, it means the world to us. And yeah, I hope this video was insightful and it also helped like people actually know what's going on and the charges of this entire big ass case that has been going on for way too long. So in my personal opinion, a lot of people keep asking me what I think is going to happen, what I think is going to be the outcome of this entire case. Without getting into specifics and technicalities, I personally do believe that my brother is going to be made an example of. So it sucks to say, but I genuinely believe that that's going to happen. So I'm not too like optimistic about the outcome here, but like I said, like, you know, whatever happens, happens. And honestly, it's about damn time this whole thing ends because it's just been such a painful process. And yeah, I'm over it lah. But the next time anything happens on the internet and people say problematic ass shit, I'm just gonna do this.
Say no weapon formed against me shall prosper.
I'll do that instead. I'll take the Miracle Family's advice and I'll say no weapon formed against me shall prosper. But anyways, we've come to the end of this episode. But before the episode ends, we've come to my favorite segment. Kring kring! Hello? It is time for your unsolicited advice of the week. If you have an opinion and you live in Singapore, don't. Anyways, make sure you use the strongest passport in the world to get out of here. Because that's what everyone on the internet says. So if you have an opinion, maybe don't share it, maybe don't put it out there, because every single troll will tell you, don't like Singapore, then leave lah. And with that, we've come to the end of this episode. Thank you for listening in. Let me know what you want to let me know in the comments. If you have nothing nice to say, don't say. I will delete and block and call police. No, I'm kidding. I'm not calling them. Anyways, yes, thank you for listening and thank you for all the support and love. My entire family, like, we appreciate it and love y'all. And I'll see you at the next episode. Bye.